Okay.
All righty. Hey, Becky. Good morning.
Hi. Hi, Donna.
I love these calls. Well, these types of calls are bittersweet for me, which means that you're graduating the 12-week program and you've done amazing
Yeah.
work. And I'm so glad that we're going to be continuing on and, with our work together. But the bittersweet part is like, right, that we have all of the work and then we're moving on. So I'm so glad that you're not moving on where we're not working together, where you and I will still have that relationship. So I guess it's not necessarily
Yep.
bittersweet. Maybe I should say it's a celebration.
Yeah.
Celebrate.
Well, I'm glad you're continuing with you.
Yeah,
So,
me too, because this really is a celebration. I know there's so much that goes into these 12 weeks, and there's certainly work, there's certainly emotion, there's certainly a whole bunch of other things that go into it, and you really showed up and were amazing.
yep.
Amazing.
I tried my hardest. It
So
was a
tell me
great
little bit
experience
about,
for me.
yeah, so tell me a little bit about when you first came to work with me. Where were you? What were you experiencing?
Oh, I was so broken. I was crying every day, all day long. I just didn't know what to do. I felt like I had lost me
Mhm.
and didn't know how to find me.
Yep.
It was really sad when I look back on that and see where I was.
Yeah.
But I'm
And
excited about where I am now.
so
Not
when,
quite there, but
yeah, and I
I'm
think
so
like
much
you and I,
better.
right, you and I talk about this, right, where I think we're continuous pieces of work where if we're alive, God has a reason and a purpose for our life. So
Yes.
we're constantly evolving, we're constantly learning more about ourselves, we're constantly experiencing different things. So it's our work is really continuous. But yeah, I agree with you. When you came to me and where you are now, you're a completely different woman.
Yeah, I know. I'm me
And
again.
you are you again. And I'll never forget, and I think I said this to you, I probably mentioned it to you multiple times because it has stuck in my heart so deeply, is there was a shift. And this is what I say when I'm in the beginning conversations of working with someone, and I don't know if you remember it. We talk about how there's going to be a shift, we're just not sure when,
Yes,
right? We're not sure
I
how it's
remember
going
that.
to happen or when it's going to happen because it's hard to determine, but it will happen. If you do the work, right, it will happen. And
Uh-huh.
I'll never forget the day that you posted that picture on Facebook with that smile
Oh,
going from ear to ear. And you were like, I feel like me again. And I have my smile. And you put it on Facebook. And I just remember all of the responses going, Becky, you look so beautiful. You look radiant, gorgeous, because you
yep.
really were radiating peace out of that picture.
Mm-hmm. I was so happy to be able to do that because my nickname used to be Smiling Becky
Oh,
because I always smile. And I had lost that. I couldn't even smile, and that scared me. It just, so to get that back and be able to smile, and I'm smiling now as I'm talking to you, and it's just so nice.
it's right. And what would you say if you're looking through, because I think if I remember when way back when, even though it was only 12 weeks, right? Doesn't it feel like it was a long time ago, even though it was just,
Yeah.
I know one of the things where you definitely needed to do some inner work, right? Of things that the healing work that you
Right.
personally were going through. And I know
Right.
it was very important for you you didn't want to be alone for the rest of your life. You knew that there was a partner out there for you. You knew that there is someone and you wanted to be connected. You just weren't sure when that would happen or how that would happen, but there was just this calling in your heart
Right.
to be with someone. Um,
Right.
the reason I'm bringing it up is because I think that's what makes someone successful is that intention that they just know there's something inside and they cannot let another day go by without going after that goal. How do you feel about that? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, that's absolutely right. I realized I don't need anyone. I mean, I'm very self-sufficient. I was single for 20 years before I remarried a couple of years ago, and I thought, I don't need anyone, but I want someone. I
Right.
don't want to go through life alone. I have so much love to give someone, and I want to share things and serve God with my soulmate. And, no matter how hard I would try to say to myself, well, maybe it's just not, in the cards for you. Maybe that's not God's plan for you. I know that was the desire of my heart. It's always been that. And it's stronger than ever now. And I do want that. And, I think God wants that for me too.
Yep, me too. I know it for you, right? There's no doubt. And I think, so many times when we put a goal out there, because that's 100% doable for you. We want to do it, but we need to do the work on ourselves first. What would you say to that on, these 12 weeks, like, doing the work on yourself? Like, what would you say to that versus like just going out there and trying to date and, versus stepping back and taking the time to really get yourself and all of your ducks in a row?
Well, it would have been a disaster if I hadn't have done the work. And I think I probably would have gotten into the same type of relationship again, because there was so much I didn't know about myself and just about life in general. And I didn't realize until I went through this course with you that I really didn't love myself. I thought I did, but I really didn't, because I was thinking, well, maybe there's something wrong with me to have all these failed marriages, and maybe I'm not supposed to be with someone, and maybe I had all these negative thoughts that I didn't realize that I had. And I thought, well, I'm never going to be happy if I keep thinking that way.
Yeah.
So now I realize that I'm different. I know more now, and I believe it's going to happen. I don't know when, I don't know how, but I'm just trusting God that there are better things for me. And the other thing was, I just felt like, oh, I'm so old. My life is over. And I felt like, when I married Jim at the age that I guess I was, 63, that, it would be for life. This is the last time. In my mind, I'm saying third time's a charm. And when it ended, I just felt like life was over.
Yeah.
And my pastor even said to me, Becky, you're not even 65 years old yet. You could have 25 years or more of your life left and be with the person you're supposed to be with.
Yeah.
And I started thinking about that. I thought, that's a long time. Why am I feeling like my life is over and I just had my last chance and it didn't work? So I just look at things a lot differently now, more positive. And I'm really glad that I got to know myself better. Like I said, I thought I knew myself, but there's really
Isn't
a
that
lot of
amazing?
hurt and scars.
I love that you said that, Becky, because I think if we could take sort of a framework of a woman, you are the model of that framework of what we all experience as a woman. So many women experience this feeling of not feeling good enough, or feeling their life is over, or feeling it's too old, or feeling, okay, they were in one marriage and it didn't work and their life is over, or two or three, if that's almost arbitrary, right? But they were in something and it didn't work out. So everything you were experiencing, and I find, and I'm not saying this is everyone, but I find that most women keep it inside, right? So they're so good at putting on the smile, and they're so good at doing for their children and showing up at work, but inside they're a mess emotionally. And that emotion and that program, if we allow it to, will run for the rest of our lives, and we will only live as a sliver of what we were supposed to live. Because my belief is this: if we're not operating at our best authentic self, and it doesn't mean that we have to be perfect, because we're never going to be perfect. We're perfectly imperfect. But if we're not operating in God's plan for our life, and we're not operating the best version of ourselves, then we're not doing the work we were meant and born to do here. And then if we're not doing the work and we're not serving the people who we're supposed to serve, then they're not serving the people they are supposed to serve, and then so on and so on. And now it becomes this trajectory of service that was never completed. And to me, that's a tragedy. To me, I don't care if you're 3 and I don't care if you're 93. Not living your authentic life is a tragedy.
Yeah.
And when you step into it and you realize, like, oh my gosh, like my thoughts, right? That's what we discovered in a lot of our work together, was your thoughts were just your thoughts. We discovered they don't mean that they're true, doesn't mean you need to believe them. And we realized that it's a program, because that's what we're running on. By the time we're 35 years old, we are programmed. Our belief systems are fully programmed. We have a preloaded computer in our brain, and we're on autopilot. We're waking up around the same time every day. We're doing the same things. We're feeling the same things. And if we don't change that program, our familiar past is going to become our predictable future. It's just going to be the same story. It's almost like Groundhog Day. We wake up, same story. We wake up, same story. And you shattered that. You came in and you said, I am not, number one, you knew you could not live the life the way you were living, and there was something greater for you. Number two, you picked up the phone and you made the commitment and you called, right? And you're like, I'm doing something. Number three, you enrolled. I know it's scary. It's so scary. I've been there where you're like, oh my gosh, it's so scary when you invest in yourself and you do it, but you do. And now you realize, like, through it, wow, it was like, now it's probably, you could truthfully say it was the best investment you have ever made in yourself, right? Like knowing that the investment in that, because that has led you to everything opening up, right? Deeper in your spiritual connection, deeper in your relationship with your family, deeper in relationship with yourself. And best of all, and most of all, Becky, I mean, everything that you've accomplished through this program has been amazing, but the love, when you fell in love with yourself, that's it. And I'm not saying that you're fully there. I'm not saying you still don't need to have work on things. Right. You know, we all do, but that is the gift. Because now anything is possible for you. And now when you love yourself enough, you could be the person you want to marry. He's going to show up just out of nowhere. One day he's just going to pop into your life and you're going to be ready for him. And you're not going to have to go through the same mistakes you made in the past. And you're not going to be attracting your ex-husband 10 times over. You're going to attract the right person for you.
Well, I kept telling myself there was something wrong with my picker.
Yes, exactly.
That's exactly how I would say it. And I believe that. You know, why do I keep picking these people that are not emotionally healthy, that are, you know, what am I doing? So,
and that's all based on the programming, right? That's all based on the subconscious programming, because we only operate 95% subconscious and 5% conscious. So in your conscious thought, you know, okay, I don't want to attract to that person, but subconsciously, it's all the program. So you're going to attract that type of person. And that's why, like what you said, it would have been a disaster if you didn't do the work. And you would have attracted that same person over and over again. But because we're going in and we're reprogramming and we're putting in a new hardware system, the operating system that you were operating on is no longer available. It is out of date. It's out of service. It is no longer being supported, right? It's done. And I'm so excited and honored for you that, and this is the part that I truly celebrate with you, is when we fully get to be the woman and step into the woman who we were meant to be. Perhaps for the first time in our life, with our head up, shoulders back, and allowing ourselves to be vulnerable, allowing ourselves to be brave, allowing ourselves to have courage, but showing up and commanding that we are worthy. And it's time to live life. And it's time to create, like you said. It's plenty of time to have the life you want.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited about that.
I can't wait for your next pieces of the journey. So before we close, Becky, I guess there's two things. One, what would you like to see yourself doing in a year? What would you like to be feeling? What would you like to see yourself doing? Because you know that at this recording, you know, I recommend that you hold it and we listen to it a year from now. So it's sort of like your time capsule. How do you want to be feeling and living within a year?
Well, within a year, I would like to be in a loving, healthy, godly committed love relationship with my soulmate, and I would love to be living my best life possible,
Yep.
serving the Lord with my partner.
Mm.
You know, that's what I want.
Beautiful.
And, you know, eventually I want to be married, and I don't know when that will happen, but I would at least like to be in a healthy, committed relationship a year from now.
Yes. And what about the top 3 things of your takeaways from the work you've done so far? Because we have more work to do. But from the work you've done so far, what are your top 3 takeaways?
Oh my goodness, there's so many. Well, I guess that I believe now that it is possible for this to happen. I've realized that I need to continue to work on myself and loving myself. As a matter of fact, I have a planner that I write all my appointments and everything in, but I bought another one, and it's called Following Her Dreams. And this one I have just for myself in writing down good things that I do for myself that make me happy. Like the other day I went shopping, which I used to do all the time, but I haven't for a long time. And then I met a friend from high school for breakfast, and I went down to the beach, and just little things that I need to do to make me happy and be happy with myself before I can be happy with someone else.
I love it. I love it. And that smiling Becky is coming out, right? That's
Yep.
you again.
Yep.
You have been found.
I feel that, and that's a good feeling. I know I'm not where I want to be yet, but I'm definitely not where I was, and that's a good thing.
And you know the difference I think that I'm feeling and I'm hearing from you is 12 weeks ago, if we put you on the hope scale of what hope would be for your life and your future, you were probably at a 1 or a 2. If we put you on the hope scale today, you're at a 9 or a 10.
Yep.
And when we have hope and when we have love, those are the 2 core foundational pieces that anything is possible, because we're raising up the vibrational level scale. We're operating in hope and love and synchronicities. And that's when we're open to receiving. Because when we're in shame, blame, condemnation, doubt, feeling sad, feeling lonely, feeling life is over, we're only going to attract more of that. And we can't see past ourselves.
And that's where I was. I had kind of lost my hope. And I've always been, I call myself the eternal optimist, because I've always been positive. I've always had hope, and I had just lost it. And that really scared me. I mean, I felt like I was headed towards a breakdown, and I knew I had to do something. So
well, I'm so glad you came in my path. I'm so honored to have you and to work with you. And I'm so glad that our energies attracted each other, because that's what happens.
Yeah.
We attracted
I'm just so grateful. I love you so much, and I can't express how much you've helped me. And I look forward to continuing to work with you.
Yes, me too. And right back at you. I love you. My heart is with you. That you're where you were, where you are, and where you're going. It's an honor to walk this path with you. I can't wait to share it, the rest, and see how it all unfolds. And our journeys together are yet to be begun. The best is yet to come, girl. Right? The best is yet to come. And we're at a perfect time of year. We got the beginning of the year to really kick it off. And really get moving and get rocking and rolling. So hold on to your seatbelt, because we got an amazing year ahead. All right, girls. So have an amazing rest of the day. Thank you so much for this. And I will talk to you on the other side.
Okay.
All right. See you later. Bye.
Okay.
Okay. Bye.